Anyone else remember when Fortnite added this triangle thing at Steamy Stacks that made a weird noise but like didn't say anything about it? Yeah, Fortnite has messed with its players a lot since the game came out, so today we look at 10 ways Fortnite trolled its players. And smash the like button if you want Epic to troll us more. To be honest, I think it's kind of funny, but coming in at number 10, we have the April Fool's Impulses. So Fortnite has kind of become known for annoying the player base, and so it's only right that we start with the first ever time they actually did it. In 2018, which was the first ever April Fool's in Fortnite, Epic had a really subtle prank that not many people actually know about. All they did was go into the game and tweak the impulses ever so slightly so their physics worked a little bit different. It basically made impulses launch you insanely high and give any victim of this an immediate and unavoidable death. But it also trolled the players who wanted to use impulses to rotate, as they've got a surprise boost into the sky and then, well, they go splat. It did lead to some great clips though, I mean just like this one from you, Selk.
Get ready, watch it! Holy! See you later, brother!
I can't lie, it's a time where Epic was just willing to have fun without caring what we thought. I kind of miss Fortnite's magic from back then, and I hope we get it back someday. But enough nostalgia, let's go from a subtle change to straight up pranking us at number 9, the zombie prank. During Fortnite Mares in 2019, no, not the terrible Shadow Midas one, Fortnite brought back zombies around the map. And while we all got used to the zombies spawning from the cube fragments or whatever, Epic decided to pull out one last trick just before Halloween. On October 30th, they introduced a brand new feature that was literally jump scares for anyone playing that day. Yep, you walk by a dumpster or some other things like cars or streetlights, and sometimes a zombie would just pop right out and scare the crap out of you. I mean, just watch this guy get pranked.
Oh my god, bro! Bro, I swear, there's gonna be little kids playing this game. They're gonna have nightmares, man.
I mean, for a kid's game, you wouldn't think Epic had it in them to give out jump scares like that, but, you know, you gotta hand it to them. It's pretty hilarious. And the trolls haven't even stopped there because Epic also did his 30 with number 8, Rip Tilted. So the first ever live event in Fortnite was of course the rocket launch, and before it happened, this thing was covered to the brim in speculation. I mean, people from all over the community put their thoughts and theories onto the internet about what could happen. And the biggest theory of all was that of #RipTilted, and it was based on a viral post and teases from Epic about the rocket destroying Tilted Towers. And it all started with the meteor in Season 3, when Epic placed telescopes around Tilted pointed at the comet. People also realized that you were able to see shooting stars and lights in the sky if you landed at Tilted, but it got super popular when a viral Reddit post talked about people's controllers vibrating actual Morse code. I know we're going down a rabbit hole here, but apparently after translating it, the code spelled out SOS 5418, which is SOS, the date, which was back then, it was like April 2018, and then D5, and that was like the coordinates of Tilted. So it all seemed like it was going this way until the meteor eventually came, and instead of striking Tilted, as we know, it hit Dusty Depot. But here's the funny part, if you put the meteor sound effect through a program, you get, well, this. It's basically what happens when you visualize audio, so it's a super major troll from Epic. They even did it all over again during the rocket launch when they added telescopes once again and got people to think the rocket would blow up Tilted. And then of course, as it flew into the sky, it came straight back down and aimed directly at the POI, only to rift away. It's like the pranking never stops, but it's not always intentional as we move on to number 7, the It crossover. Like I said, Epic trolling the players isn't always intentional, and it's not always fun. Sometimes we get excited for things that just slowly fade from existence. And that's exactly what happened back in Season X when we received some less than subtle hints at an upcoming crossover. All around the island, there were red balloons that appeared above storm drains, and it's pretty obvious that this belonged to Pennywise from the It movies. And because of these balloons, everyone began making It-themed concepts, posts on social media, YouTube's front page was full of Pennywise thumbnails, it was insane. And then the hype died down and we all got distracted by Season X's black hole event. Like literally nothing ever came from this It tease, and we eventually found out from leakers that there was indeed a scrapped Pennywise skin in the files. So basically we had an It crossover coming that was super close to being complete, and for an unknown reason the deal fell through and they just didn't do it. I mean, maybe Epic wanted to keep the attention on the black hole event, maybe the problem was with like Pennywise's copyright, we don't know, we likely never will. But speaking of accidents, we have to talk about number 6, Calamity's jiggle physics. Alright, I think we all remember this one like it was yesterday, and while some of Epic's trolls have been like deliberate and some very accidental, it's kinda up to you to decide which one this is. In Season 6, we were introduced to Calamity, and she became very popular very quickly. And why? Well, for some reason, Calamity had jiggle physics. I have no idea why, people, she just did. And so obviously everyone caught on to this, and some loved it, but some hated it. And because of the news coverage, Epic immediately removed the physics and put out a statement, okay? It was a pretty simple statement that said, "This is embarrassing and unintended. We are putting out a fix as soon as possible." I mean, they sounded pretty serious here in claiming that this was an accident, but think about it. Someone literally had to animate Calamity to do that. Anyways, it was probably one of the most controversial things in Fortnite history, and yet only lasted a few hours. It was crazy to think about how much ruckus a feature like that could cause, though. But anyways, moving on to number 5, we have the Tenet Easter egg in Steamy Stacks. So Fortnite and Christopher Nolan have had a pretty strong relationship in the past year, especially when they streamed a few of his movies completely free to us at Party Royale. So it was no surprise when one day a random box appeared in a secret basement of Steamy Stacks. And when you get close to it, music from Tenet would actually play, and it became obvious that this was actually a piece of the algorithm from the movie. It's kind of like in the same orange case that the protagonist uses too. But at the time though, this Easter egg was out of nowhere, and with the music and everything, it seemed like we were getting some kind of Tenet crossover. But like with Pennywise, nothing happened here. Now, I don't think it was a scrap collab, but it was actually just a simple reference, and to be honest with you, it was kind of a total troll. They just dropped it in Steamy Stacks, didn't say anything, and it's still here to this day. At the end of the movie, they hide the pieces of the algorithm all over the planet, so no one can ever find them again, so I kinda wonder how one of the pieces ended up at Steamy Stacks. I guess that's a question for another day. But moving on, number 4, we have the end of Fortnite. So in the lead up to the Black Hole event, just like the events before it, Epic decided to have some fun with the fan base, okay? They branded the entire event as the end. They were kind of vague about it and didn't really reveal anything that might happen, but with the end as all we know, it was kind of freaky, okay? All they did was tweet a cryptic image of people waving goodbye to the battle bus, and it got us really hyped because we didn't know what was happening. And then, as we all know, the Black Hole happened, and we just got silence. I mean, Fortnite deleted all of its tweets, it made its social media black, we didn't get anything. It was literally radio silence for 2 days. I mean, there were videos all over the internet of kids being trolled into thinking that this was the complete end for Fortnite. There were rage compilations, videos from parents of kids throwing controllers. A lot of people actually thought this was it. Now, of course, it was just a publicity stunt to build hype for Chapter 2. Of course, worked like a charm. I won't lie, Epic played the fan base like a fiddle, even if most of us who are active in the community knew that this, of course, wasn't the end because, you know, money and all. But speaking of live event trolls, it's time for our final 3 with Cyclo. Okay, back in Season 2, during the Device event, it was one of the most anticipated live events since Chapter 2 began. We had a whole build-up with Midas, Jules, Oro, and the Doomsday Device, and before the event happened, we had a storyline video predicting exactly what would happen, and a lot of the community agreed. If you were watching us back then, we talked a lot about this suit in Midas's office that we'd never seen before, and we had a theory that Midas would use this outfit in order to wield the power of the storm, or maybe survive it, I don't know. And our theory was even confirmed when Epic Games themselves released the outfit in the shop as a skin named Cyclo. I mean, his description was shocking. It was harness the power of the storm. And even if that's not enough, they even had Cyclo in the literal image for the Device event. Like, you can see Midas right here getting ready to put the suit on. I mean, it's just so obvious, right? Everything pointed to it. We got super excited, and then the event happened, and we just never saw him and never heard from him again. I mean, come on, Epic, you got us all hyped up, and now we have no idea where Cyclo is. But on the topic of being angry, we gotta show you number 2, the Infinity Blade update. Okay, so Epic didn't exactly add the Infinity Blade into Fortnite just to troll people, I know that, but let's be honest, that's kind of also exactly what they did. Like, when the Infinity Blade came along, it was probably the most overpowered item in Fortnite history, even more than the mechs originally, the planes, or even the Zapatron. Like, it actually got to a point where if you had this thing, you were going to win the game no matter what. It was that simple. And what made it even worse was that Epic added the blade the night before a tournament, so people used this thing in it, and it was stacked full of pros. And let's just say that Saw mowing down the finalists of the tournament will stay in our memory for a long time. I mean, this play was so unbelievable, it was almost impossible that Epic wasn't trolling us. I mean, adding this thing into the game during a tournament, what were you thinking? Number 1, the Siona and Dio storyline. I probably really could make a 10-minute video alone based on how Siona and Dio were probably the biggest trolls in Fortnite history. For an entire season, it seemed like Epic were dropping hints at the storyline and what was to come. I mean, Season 3 was really bland and lacking content, so when Siona and Dio arrived on the island, it was kind of like, oh cool, something's here. Finally, storyline stuff. And then we have the spaceship quest where we helped them and they rift away, and that was really cool because they were the first ever people to use rifts in Chapter 2. So our theory was that the player sending Dio back home actually opened a rift and made Galactus sense the 0 point. It was a cool theory, actually made sense. Fortnite storyline making sense. Wow, that's a new one. But yeah, Donald Mustard basically confirmed that it was not true at all, and Galactus had been coming to the island since the black hole. So yeah, Siona and Dio completely and utterly pointless. Who's not upset about it? Not me, not Tommy. But I think I'm gonna punch my monitor if I continue this video. So click on screen or something. Tommy, Top 5 Gaming, bye.